Okay, today we are proud and honored to have with us Dr. Tiffany Brown. Tiffany, as she so modestly refers to herself, is a passionate advocate and global traveler dedicated to empowering special needs families. Alongside her husband, she travels the world with her autistic son to spread awareness and acceptance of autism, having explored 47 countries, 47 states, 46 countries, and 6 continents. Did I miss any?
No, you did. It's 45 countries, but that's fine. We're on our way to our next. It's going to be 46 soon, so you're right on track.
Whereabouts? We just spoke
It's
that
fine.
into existence.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you did. You did.
Exactly. With a
Yeah.
PhD in higher education, Tiffany draws on her research to provide practical tips and resources for families on the spectrum. She specializes in finding sensory friendly activities and helping parents feel more comfortable navigating the world with their children. Through their journey, she aims to inspire, support, and equip other families to embark on their own amazing adventures.
So, welcome aboard, Tiffany.
Welcome!
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I thank you for reaching out, and I'm happy to be doing this interview.
All
Oh,
right.
so excited.
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and dive right in. What was your family's first travel experience like when you found out your child had autism diagnosis? And what made you decide to just keep traveling?
Well, I've been traveling with my son since he was 3 months. So obviously, I didn't find out that he had autism at 3 months.
Oh,
And
Right.
prior to him being born, I was a traveler myself. So when he was diagnosed in 2019, I remember the day so clear. It was October the 10th, 2019. It was a Thursday. I remember it was a
wow.
Thursday. And I was completely devastated. I was like, what am I gonna do? But I kept moving. I just kept doing the same things because I didn't initially accept it at first. It took me 2 years to even come out because before I became Autism Spectrum Adventures on all the social media platforms, I
Mhm.
was like Dr. Brown Adventures or it was like Kids Travel or something like that. That's
Cool.
what I was talking about. I never would talk about the autism piece of it because I was embarrassed. I'm like, how could a person like me have a child that has autism? I'm educated. All these things went through my mind. I'm sure other people think the same thing sometimes. Like, how
Yes.
how did this happen to me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I continue with the travel as normal. I was just regular with it. Like initially, like I was treating it like he didn't even have it. But then after a while, and once I really accepted it, I was like, let me look for some sensory friendly places. Let me look for this. And my whole mind is. I mean, I just changed my whole way of thinking. And once I got out of my own feelings,
Oh,
Mm.
things were so much smoother. And
Oh,
now, I talk to anybody about it.
I
oh,
love it. I love it.
well.
I
Yeah.
definitely relate to the part with the traveling. I recall a moment where we were going on a plane for the first time and I was like, how do I explain to him security and all these things? And I had to make like a visual support guide for that. And so I definitely understand that part. But many parents of other autistic children are worried about meltdowns or sensory overload in new environments. What are your top three tips for managing these challenges while traveling?
First and foremost, I mean, this one tip really covers everything, but planning and preparing is everything.
Mhm.
I'm a planner,
Mhm.
and you really have to make sure that you have things in place. Now, just because you plan doesn't mean that everything's going to go smooth
That's
because it's
right.
just like life. In life, things doesn't, people don't expect for things to happen, and things happen. Like you can get a flat tire, you can have an accident, whatever. It's the same thing. So you have to plan to
Mhm.
make sure that you're ready and prepared, and I do that a lot. I mean, I'm like really ridiculous with it. I'm When it comes down to the flights, when it comes down to like the times that the flights leave and everything. So if I had to say three things, of course planning and preparing is like top, but like planning, preparing, making sure that your child is comfortable wherever you're traveling. Comfort is
Mhm.
key.
Yeah.
My son, he has to be comfortable, or it's gonna be now you're talking about triggering a meltdown, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it could be a whole show. So
Yeah.
making sure that he's comfortable and communicating with the airlines, communicating with the hotels, finding out. I mean, being the advocate, finding
Mhm.
out. Okay, do you have a sensory room? Do you have a children's place that they can play at, what is offered, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all over it. I'm very particular about everywhere we go. I just don't just say, oh, I'm going to go here. Even when I'm working with brands and things like that, I need to know. Like, I can't stay anywhere because I want to know where we're staying at, because we're not going to stay anywhere. And
I
I need to make
understand.
sure that we're good. So those are the three things. Preparation is key. What's the saying? You have to plan to fail, or
Fail to
what is it,
plan.
fail to plan, something,
Mhm.
whatever, so it's like that,
Right.
if you fail to plan, then you're going to
You're
plan
going to
to
fail.
fail. That's what it
Mhm.
is. So
So now, what I want to know is, how do you prepare, especially when it comes to changes in routine and a new experience? Because you've explained to us what you do in preparation, but we all know those meltdowns. So they do come with the territory, especially if a flight is delayed or you can't get into your hotel room right away. It's not ready for you. Things like that, rainy days, anything that comes up. How do you prepare for that?
uh, preparation again is so important. So a lot of times I try to say, I mean, of course, we can always run into those flight delays and things like that. That's something you just, it happens. You just have to be prepared to pivot. You
Yeah.
have to come prepared. Like, I always travel with credit cards to make
Mhm.
sure that I'm ready if I have to go and stay somewhere, because sometimes the airline are not going to provide you a place to stay.
True.
So I can't be sitting there going back and forth with them. And this has happened to us before, where flight was canceled and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't just sit there going back and forth. I'm gonna make things happen. I'm okay. I'm gonna go and get a room. But to prepare for it, like, let me give you an example. So we did a trip last year. We went to Rome. So in order to get to Rome, we had to take two flights to get there. The first flight, we went to Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark, and it
Oh,
was like a 12-hour delay there. Now, that's a
oh,
long time, to be
oh
sitting
my goodness.
around. So what I did was, and this is all preparation. I mean, and people can handle travel however they like to handle it, but this is how I handle it. This is how I prepare for it. I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit in the airport for that long. That's a long time. I want to explore Denmark somewhat because we've never been. I'm going to hire a driver and I want a comfortable ride. We're going to get one of those like vans, like a nice van,
Runner van.
the Mercedes Benz,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
I rented one. Well, not rented, but I hired a driver. We landed. The guy was there to take us around, but now we have space to stretch out. That's why I don't get the car, because, with a car, it's three of us, so it may be a little tight in the car for
Right.
that long. I want to be comfortable. I want to stretch out myself.
That part.
So that's just one thing that I would do. I, I literally, I have an iPhone, so I'm always putting things in my notes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
for every trip, I'm planning out everything, and I make sure that I'm not doing too much with my son. So you may see things on social media, and people may think that I've done a whole bunch, but I've really probably done a little bit, and to show this thing, because I'm not
Provided
gonna
works.
overdo it, because he's gonna be like, I'm tired or something, and I don't want to overdo it for him. So it's like those type of things. Or if it's super long, we've even had times where we actually had to get a hotel room because it was really really long, and
Mhm.
so that's what I do. And for time changes, that's a big thing.
Oh,
What
oh
I've been doing
yes.
lately, because I
Mhm.
have learned my lesson from meltdowns, I've learned big time. Um, I will. I will try to set it up where if I can upgrade our seats, if we can upgrade to business class or first class or something like that, I don't buy it flat out. I never do that. I never ever buy a first class ticket or a business class ticket flat out.
Right.
I'll upgrade it because it's way cheaper. I mean,
Mhm.
thousands cheaper. It's cheap.
Yes.
So I do that. That way
Mhm.
we're stretched out. Now we can't do it every single time, but if we can't, then I'll make sure that we're sitting somewhere on that plane where he can stretch out a little bit so that he's comfortable. I make sure that he's comfortable more so than me, because I mean I can handle it, but him, my son, no. So those are the things that I try to do, and that's why it's important to look at the flight schedules. If it's gonna be difference in time and things like that, I try to get him back on a schedule, whereas he's sleeping the whole time on the plane. And then when we get there in the morning, just like before when we did for Denmark, um, same thing. It's like we got there, we slept all throughout on the plane. It was like a 9-hour flight, and then when we got there, okay, he slept all the whole flight, so
Oh,
he's good. He's recharged.
yeah.
So I like to do those type of things. For those who can't do that, I just say try to plan the best that you can. If especially if you have a small child, try to get it where they have their blankets and they're comfortable and they can get some rest on that plane, if that's the case, because you want them to be on that sleep schedule. If they're not on that schedule, it's going to be, you'll be somewhere, it's 3 a.m. and they're up.
Yep.
So you know so
That's
yeah,
true.
that's a lot of, I do that. And like I'll give him like the melatonin gummies too, to kind of regulate and get his sleep better too.
Your
I'll do
best
that.
friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, these tips are not only good for special needs. I think neurotypical kids, including us as adults,
Adults.
these tips are
Mhm.
great for too.
Yeah.
Um, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you share a specific travel success story that you're most proud of?
Um, I was thinking, it's so many.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many. I was trying to narrow it down. I was thinking earlier. I'm like, which one should I share? Um, well, just I'll actually share this one. Our recent one. We went to Montana
That's
last
amazing.
month,
Oh,
and and I was prepping my son for the trip. We've never been, and I had never been. So I'm trying to get him prepared, because it's going to be a different environment than what we're used to. We live on the East Coast. We live in Maryland, and Montana is a different place. It's a different place. So I'm trying to explain to him what we may see with wildlife and things like that, because we don't
Right.
see that where we're from. So
Right.
I'm explaining to him. So he actually was going to his YouTube, and I mean, these kids are so clever. I'm telling you,
Yes, they
he's not
are.
can't write the words out, but he's like actually
Talking to
speaking
it.
into his mic. Tell me
Oh yeah.
about the bears. I'm telling him, you may see a bear, you may. And I was just so proud of him to be
Yes.
so, just watching him just be so independent now, um, as compared to how it was before. I mean, just wanting to find out new things about where he's visiting. So I'm proud that he's actually doing that type of stuff now. That makes me happy that he now takes the time out to look, like
Do
we'll
his own
talk about it,
research.
yeah, where it's usually he wants to play his Roblox and all that, and he's just like, no, let me look into it. He's on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah. So he's like, mommy, did you know it's like a brown bear and a black bear? So it's like I
yes.
like the fact that this trip is teaching him as well. So
Yes.
I mean, I'm killing two birds with one stone.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but
So on the flip side of that, okay, now she asked you about the travel success. Can you give us an example of a travel fail and what you learned from it?
whew, yes. So I got a bunch, but this one sticks out. This one sticks out 100%. We went to Ireland last year, I think. And it was a red eye flight. I figure it's not going to be a long flight, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess I thought that he was going to be able to sleep better on the plane, and I guess I didn't prepare. I didn't give him the gummies. I didn't, I guess I just wasn't thinking out, ahead. And when we got to Dublin, Ireland, my son had a complete meltdown right in that airport, and I mean a whole show. And people was, I don't pay attention to what people. I don't. They can
No,
look all
right.
they want. I'm handling my son at that time,
Right.
but I was just thinking of like how I could have avoided that situation. I'm
Right.
like, why did you even? I could have avoided that. I think I just got excited that it was, we were going to go to Ireland. I just picked a cheap flight and wasn't thinking. And I learned that day
No.
not to do that. And it was, I taught him, we look at videos now because he looks at the video. Whenever I'm playing something, he always wants to see, and he'll see that. And then, like later that day, well, the next day, he had his breakfast and everything, and the next day he was like, "Mommy, I'm sorry for acting like that's acting like what." He was like, "Oh, I was yelling." He acknowledged it, but you know, I told him, I said, you were like the Snickers commercial with with meltdown. but
Because you
it
were hungry.
happens. Yeah, it
Who knows? He
happens.
could have been hungry. It may not have been
And yeah,
enough.
and like I said, once we got to the hotel, we actually, because this was another situation where we did have a driver to take us to the hotel, and we got there and we got breakfast, and after that he was a lot
Okay.
better.
Okay.
So it was more so he didn't like his rest being broken. That was the lesson that I learned.
Okay.
Well,
He did.
we don't like that either. So
I
I mean,
know, and he did it to me last night, as a matter of fact. But yeah, because he got this thing with coming in the room in the middle of the night, and we're trying to break that, and we're like, so
When
yeah,
you figure it out, please let me know.
but yeah, I know it's terrible. I'm like, I'm so tired. Yeah, so
So we kind of touched on this a little bit when I had mentioned like a visual chart. But what are some things that you do to navigate like air travel, including security checkpoints and long flights and things like that?
okay, sure. So I'll tell you what I do, and then I'll tell you what I recommend people do because it's a cheaper way. Because I travel a lot, I have Clear, I have TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
yes.
I'm going through the lines like, I mean, I'm coming to the airport late, and I
Running
10 out
through
of
it.
10 do not recommend what I'm doing because I have all these things in place. I'm a frequent traveler. We travel a lot. We probably out of a 12-month period, we probably take 8 to 10 trips a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, people are not traveling like me. So if you're not traveling like that, I highly recommend contacting TSA Cares 3 days before you travel. Contacting them because they're the ones. This is United States travel. The TSA is not in. It's only in the United
Other
States.
countries,
But
right?
in other countries, they may have something else. And I would recommend anybody who's watching it from another country to see what they offer that's similar to TSA Cares. And what TSA Cares is going to do, they're going to meet you at that airport, and they're going to get you through that screening process, get you and your child through that screening process, and they're going to get you to that gate seamlessly. That's why I said mine is seamless too. But we travel a lot. If your child has never traveled like that, then they're going to be looking. They're going to be like, oh my goodness. I also recommend if you can do one of those mocked flight simulation things. If you can like go to the airport, they have them different places. I know like Holly Robinson Pete, she
Yes.
does something with American Airlines. They do something. They have it's another place that does it. But if you look up like mock flight experiences, you'll see that it'll come up for different places that do that. Different airports all over the United States do that. So if you want to show your child in person, or if you want to look at a YouTube video and show them like that, that's another way.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I should have brought it up with me. I didn't. The sunflower lanyard. I just found out about the sunflower lanyard last year. I never knew anything about it before, but now they have it at Baltimore Washington Airport. They just got that, and you can get the lanyard for free. It's just basically it's a lanyard, and it has the green background. It has the sunflower on there, the yellow sunflower on there, and then it's for it's not just for flights. It's for other things too, but it's really for hidden disabilities. So if you have that on, your child has that on, they have dedicated lines for that. You can get it from the airport. I got mine from the airport for free. You can go to the Sunflower website and you can get it as well, but I think it's a fee for that. But I got mine from the airport, and I ordered one from Amazon when I first found out about it because I wanted to do a video on it. So I ordered it, but now I actually have one that I got from the airport, and I walk right up to them. And this was this year. I walked up right to. I said, "Can I get a lanyard?" They don't ask any questions; they just give it to you. So actually, and only how many, that's it. So you have that on. You will. I've seen it in Miami Airport. I've seen it in Orlando Airport. So they're around. And if you go to the Sunflower website, it'll show you what all their locations are. And it's not just something that's in the United States. This is actually something that is global. So a lot of airports in Europe have them. So when you see those lines, it's like, oh wow. And then some airports, we went to Rio de Janeiro a couple of years ago, and they actually had the ribbon, the autism ribbon there. Like, how it had like the handicap, it had the autism. I couldn't believe it. I was smiling from ear to ear. I was like, wow, I could.
That's
It was a
awesome.
dedicated line just for that. So, it's like that type of stuff. So you have to really know about that. And then, last but not least, with every single airline, and I actually did a post on this just the other day. every single airline has some kind of accessibility on their website. I don't care what airline it is. My favorite right now so far is Delta, because Delta makes it simple. You go in there, your reservations is already booked. Let's say, my son, I click, cognitive disability, I click that, and then they'll send me an email and it's done. So everybody on your reservation, when you get to the airport, you don't have to go and check in to say, well, I need another ticket, because to me, that's an extra layer. A lot of airlines do that. I don't want to do that. I'm, because now I got to take the time out and I have to go up to the counter that is probably a line anyway.
Right.
I want it to be simple. And that's why I like Delta, because when I posted it, people were like, all airlines do that. They all do it, but all of them are not as simple as Delta. And I don't even fly Delta that often, because it's not it's not a major hub where I live at. But when we went to Utah in May, I was like, oh, this is it right here. I was like, this airline, because when you get to the airport, you don't want a whole lot of stuff. You want to get there and be ready to get on that plane, So those are things that I recommend to get yourself prepared to have your child on that plane. It's simple.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Tiffany. What's the most common fear you think that you've heard from parents about traveling with their autistic children or special needs children? And when you hear that fear, how do you address it?
Sure. Yeah. So the biggest one that I hear most of the time, because a lot of people get in my inbox, you wouldn't believe the amount of inbox that I get. It's thousands. It's really overwhelming sometimes, because they don't want to post something on my post, because they don't want to come out. They're probably like how I used to be. So, but their biggest fear is they're embarrassed, and they don't want their child to have a meltdown. They're afraid of how their child is going to handle it. They're afraid of how people are going to look at their child. That's why I did a funny video one time, but it was funny, but not funny, because I want to encourage others. It was a guy, and he was pretty much, acting like a fool on the plane. We see it all the time. People get on that do not fly list and they're acting crazy. And I posted it saying like, hey, and you're afraid to fly with your autistic child. So people,
That's good.
so it actually went viral, because people they're so afraid of what others may say. And I tell people all the time, let me tell you something, people are going to talk about you regardless. It don't matter. You could have a neurotypical child, you can have it. They're going to talk about whatever they can talk about. People, that's the world that we live in.
Mhm.
Take your child on that trip. So what, they're on that plane stemming. My son, he stems. He likes to shake his head from side to side. He makes this humming noise.
Yeah.
So what? He's going to be doing all this stuff. I get on there and I'll be in first class like it's nobody's business. I don't care.
That's what we have.
So,
Respect the STEM.
oh, that's
Okay.
right. I need that shirt. Right. Respect the STEM. Exactly. I'm like, yeah, I say, I don't know how many times I've been on flights and you have people in there, they're drunk, they're talking loud. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so what's the difference?
Exactly.
This is and more people need to understand what it is. This is what it is. This is a person who has autism, and this is what it is. We paid our money to be here just like anybody else. And it is what it is. So, but I do get the fear of the unknown. I had that fear as well. I actually used to bring people with me. Like, if my husband couldn't go on a trip, when my son was younger, I used to bring people. I used to pay for people to come with me, like, because I would be like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna now? Please, no. I mean, I'm a pro at it now. It's not a big deal,
Or
but
he's a pro at it.
right.
He's a
Yeah. Yeah. He is. He'll get on that plane and, yes. And don't let us not be sitting in first class or business class and we got to go to the back. He'd be like, Mommy, why we that's it? Like, boy, go keep
See what you
walking.
did? See what
Keep
you did?
walking.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. So,
I'm not sure about you, but my kiddo has to have a few must-haves with him.
yes.
Are there any must-haves that you have in your carry-on bag when you travel?
Absolutely. So my son is a dinosaur lover.
Oh,
He's
I
a
love
dinosaur lover. So he's always trying to bring these big dinosaurs. And I'm like, buddy, that's way too big. But one of the things, like must haves 100% on a flight, can't leave home without it. Tablet 100%. Sometimes I bring two tablets really.
Yeah.
Um,
No judgment.
tablet, a fully charged tablet that has downloaded things on there, because we don't know whether or not that Wi-Fi is going to be acting up. We don't know. Sometimes you can't get onto the Wi-Fi, and that could be a problem. So make sure you have something that's downloaded on there to say, hey, just in case the Wi-Fi is not working, we're going to do this. So I have that. My son, he has to have a blanket. He like, that's his comfort thing. He loves to be wrapped up in a blanket. Even when he's not on a plane, he's a blanket kind of child. So I always have a blanket for him. I always bring snacks, even though he's getting better at the things that he's eating. He is a very picky eater, but quick things that I like to bring for him. Like he likes his little Uncrustables, his peanut butter and jelly. I'll bring some crackers. I'll bring little things like that. And I'll have a big old Ziploc bag and have it in there. When our last flight, I had some waffles. I even bring little packs of syrup, because sometimes when we go places, and this is something that people got to understand, when you're in other countries and stuff, they may not have the same things, or they may call it something else or something. So I bring little packs of syrup with me when we're going out of the country, because he's like, they may give me honey, and I'm like, no, that's not what I want. So I bring the syrup.
Syrup.
Yes. So those things, and I bring some small toys and stuff. Like I said, he can't bring the big dinosaur that's as big as the plane, but maybe some small dinosaurs. Something that he likes. I'll let him bring that, because we're team carry on. So and I actually have this special luggage that I like to bring. It's a carry on bag, and it's a little on the pricey side, but as worth every penny. Sometimes, you pay for convenience. It's called Mia luggage or something. I have it on my Amazon storefront thing, but it's a bag where it's a carry-on bag, but it's also a seat. But my son, he's pretty tall. He's 9. He's like almost 4.5 feet. And some kids, they want to sit down and all that stuff like that, and I don't like him sitting on the floors and things like that at the airport. So this bag, I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. He'll
Okay, we need that
he
link to that.
yes, I can't leave home without it. I love it. And another very important, this is for boys mainly, because my son, and he still does it he actually did it yesterday to us. He likes to wait until the last possible minute to use the restroom. And I mean the last seconds to use the restroom, right? So you shaking your head, so you already know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Last second. So I call them PP bags. I actually have these little bags, because we've literally been like, I mean,
Yeah.
20 feet off the ground about to land. You can't get up. And he's like, Mommy, I waited till last minute. I got to go. And I'm like, oh my God, what? So I like the bags. I actually did a video on it before, because as soon as the liquids go in there, if you turn it over, it turns into a gel form, so it doesn't leak or nothing like that. Before, I was being like kind of a little ghetto with it. I had Ziploc bags, but that's liquid. But
Gotta
this
do what
is
you
so
gotta
much.
do.
You got to do what you got to do, because I'm like, either that or you got to deal with a child that peed on himself. So I'm like, oh, no, 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 no.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole nother, so of course, always bring a change of clothes as well, because you never know when they're gonna, have an accident, or throw up on themselves. Or my son, he suffers from nosebleeds too. So that's another thing. So I always bring a change of clothes. But yes, PP bag saved the day. I got that in my link as well. I can't, I mean, I travel with them on a regular. They stay in my purse at all times. I can't leave home without it. So, it's just one more thing,
Gotta look
to
into that.
have.
Taking these
Yeah.
nuggets. These little
So yeah, that's why I say he keeps us on our toes, because he'll tell us, "Oh, Mommy, I waited till last minute. I have to go, and I can't wait another second." I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Yes.
So I mean,
So
what?
let me ask you, Tiffany. I was looking at, I don't know if it was Facebook or Instagram, and I noticed that you had mentioned on one of your social media sites that High Point, North Carolina, which we're not far from, by the
Oh,
way.
really? Are you in North Carolina?
Yes.
We're in right outside of Charlotte,
Yes.
in a place called Mooresville.
Okay, my family is from North Carolina. That's why I was asking. They live in like near Fayetteville, like
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah, in Spring Lake, North Carolina.
So you
Yeah.
had mentioned in that High Point was the autism friendly capital or something to
Yes.
that effect, which that was something we were unaware of. Now let me ask you, from your experience, what's a destination or type of travel that's surprisingly autism friendly? Now you did mention the High Point, North Carolina. Were some other places?
Well, one of my I mean, not just not a place in that you can actually stay, but I love a cruise. I love Royal Caribbean cruises. I actually did a live with Autism on the Seas last week, and they have a service where they will provide respite care while you're on that cruise ship. I mean, it's like, you have to pay for the service and things like that, but they're on Royal Caribbean ships. They're on some Carnival and some Norwegian, and they also do like resorts. They do resorts as well. They do some select resorts, and I love that. I love that the staff is trained, that they have sensory friendly things in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing for me. I
Yes.
absolutely love it.
That's a
So
vacation.
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So a cruise for me is one of the best. One of the best things. Now, I mean, they have places like in Turks and Caicos. They had the beaches, resorts, and things like that. That is supposed to be an autism friendly, destination as well. But a cruise is definitely like my go to.
Yeah,
It's
we were
definitely
in
like.
Turks. We were in Turks and Caicos in what, January
January.
Mm-hmm,
of this year on a cruise.
Yes.
mm-hmm,
So beautiful, beautiful place, by the way. And you're right, the cruises. A lot of the cruise lines do offer it. Not every ship, so to speak, is, I guess, is friendly or accommodating, but I do know that Carnival treated us very well while we were there, and
mm-hmm.
like you said, they have the respite care and just a place where you can just send your kids off so that you can actually enjoy your vacation as well.
Yes, yes.
How do you find autism friendly accommodations in restaurants and activities when you're planning a trip?
So, because I'm a super ridiculously planning type of person, I will wherever we're gonna visit. So, I'll be like, let's just say we're going to Philadelphia. I'm just throwing a name out there because Philly is not far from us. All right, we're gonna go to Philadelphia. I will look up like Chat GPT is that's my friend. I mean, like that's my friend, counselor, doctor, everything. I use it every single day.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll look it up because this just makes it easier, and I'll look at the things that it's talking about, like, okay, what's going to offer this and that. I'll also go to that, what is it, the IBCCS website? It's like the International Board something that also listed too, because that's where I got a lot of stuff from High Point as
Okay.
well. So I'll look at that type of stuff, and I'll look to see what I think my son would like. I'll ask him to. Like, I mean, he always wants to go somewhere that has dinosaurs, but a children's museum is always a go-to. Every place that we go, if they have a children's museum, I'm there 100%. I make sure that I'm there. Um, if it's not too hot, we'll go to the zoo, because that's like sensory friendly. I look at places where he's not going to be overstimulated, that type of stuff. But that's where I started. I mean, I just simply, people want to do old fashioned style, Google it. Before Chat GPT, I would do the Google. I'm Google. But
Yes.
now Chat GPT it'll just lay it out for me, and I like that, and I can just look and I'll say, okay, well, I think I may be interested in this, and it all depends on where we're going, because depending on where we're going, I may already have a place in mind that I definitely want to go. Like, may not be as autism friendly, but it's like I gotta go there. Like when we went to Rio de Janeiro, I was like, oh, I gotta see the Christ the Redeemer. Oh, I gotta, I gotta do, this. So not anything sensory friendly. Well, I mean, it's still like, outdoors type of stuff. My son he actually liked it because it was like big statue, but but certain things I want to see for myself. But if I'm looking for something specifically autism friendly, I will do a search everywhere we go. And if I think it's something that's going to be interesting, I'm like, oh, I want to check this out. So we're going to go. We're actually headed to our 48th state next month, and I'm like, they have this this the tallest file cabinet in the world. So I figured it'd be that, just like High Point had the largest dresser in the world. I'm like,
Yeah.
why not visit that? So I'm like,
The
it's just a
tallest
quick
file
picture. Yeah. So I'm like, so that's what I do. I do research everywhere and check it out to make sure that it's going to be okay. I mean, so for my son, it's real easy to find him things because, I mean, McDonald's is everywhere. So
Yeah.
that, is simple. I mean, McDonald's, I'm good. Breakfast, he's pretty good with that. So, I mean, usually we stay somewhere that either, has breakfast there, or
Yeah,
room
true.
service or something. Yeah. So that's how I pick it. It's it's fairly simple,
Okay.
for me.
So, beyond travel, what message do you want to share with others or other parents for autistic children who might feel isolated or overwhelmed?
Sure. Yes. The biggest and most important message I want to convey is you are not alone. It's a whole community of us out here. Just like you two, and so many people out here want to help.
Yeah.
Just build your community, reach out, ask questions. Um, there's definitely a lot of help out there. I try to do things as much as I can. I do giveaways and things like that sometimes. I mean, it's going to be holiday time now, so I would love to give back to a lot of families. And this is something that I'm doing on my own. It's not like I'm partnering with anybody, but I know there are a lot of people in need, and you have someone that you can lean on. Um, on my Facebook page, I said I wanted to build that up more. I want to start having things in there so people can go to and use their resource, such as like, let's just say they got denied for a service that they were looking for their child. And I want to give them like a template, because a lot of people, they just need that extra push.
Right.
So I want them to know you're not alone, and that is help out there, and just reach out to the community. Just, I mean, continue to hit me in my inbox like they've been doing,
Yes.
because I try to reach as many as I can, because I know people out here and they really want the help, and I'm just here to help.
Good.
Definitely. So you already touched on it a little bit, but what is your guys' next big adventure, your next big trip?
Big trip, yeah. Because so next month is not really big. It's just small. We're going to be going to Vermont.
Wow, I love that.
So that that's it's not like people are not. It's not like you're going to big place, but it's going to be out both of our 48 states. So I'm excited about
Okay.
going there, and it'll be a quick trip because it's not a long flight. So I'm excited about going there, and then
In the
we're
fall, too. It's going
in
to
the
Yes.
be
fall,
beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, I hear it's supposed to be great to go to in the fall. So I'm excited about taking him and exploring myself, and seeing what they have to offer. I've already looked at some sensory friendly places, so we'll be hitting those places off. And then we're going to be headed to St. Lucia. So that'll be something to give us a bit of a warm up when it's winter here. So that'll give us a bit of warm up. We may squeeze in something else. I would love to do Bali, but it's not 100%. But the other two are 100%. I would love to do Bali before the end of the year, but
Yes.
sometimes those
That's my
flights.
bucket
Bucket
list.
list.
Oh, Bali,
Yes.
Bali, yeah. So I would love to do it, but that flight, I'm gonna need some time. So
Okay, I get
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna go ahead and close this up. But if you could give one piece of advice to a parent considering their first trip with an autistic or special needs child, what do you think that advice would be?
I would say planning is everything, but if something doesn't go as planned, it's okay. It's okay. Don't let that be the reason to not travel with your child. There are plenty of people out here like myself and you who are traveling with our children, and we're at the airport and things like that. And people will help out more than you think they will. So don't even worry about, oh, my child is he has
The
autism and I
judgment.
can't travel.
Yeah.
Just travel, just take a chance. And I always say, if you want to start off slow, start off with a shorter trip. Like I say, I'm going to Vermont. Look at where you are. Like, you're in North Carolina. Let's say you want to take a flight to Orlando. That shouldn't be a long flight from North Carolina to Orlando. From here it's about 2.5 hours or so, but it's a shorter flight for you guys, have to be.
Yes.
um so I would say start off with a smaller trip and see how it goes. And it doesn't always have to be a flight. It can actually be on the train, because we love taking the train. We love some Amtrak, and
Right.
it could be a train ride, or it could
Haven't
be
done
a
that
Haven't
yet.
done the
you know
train yet. That's a good one.
oh yeah, you should, like, yeah. It's, well, I don't know where you are. If you say you're outside of Charlotte, I don't know if it comes down that way, but
Yeah.
right, the train is right here with us on the East Coast, so we take the train a lot, especially going to New York or DC. We take the train a whole lot.
Smarter than
Uh,
taking the plane in that area right
oh
now.
Yeah.
yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, we take it, and it's simple. I mean, actually, we just took it when we went to Montana, because like I said, I'm very particular about nonstop flights and where I'm going to. So we actually flew out of Newark, out of in New Jersey. So I took the train up to New Jersey because I didn't want to drive. It's like a 2.5 hour drive. I don't like driving for a long time. I took the train up, and then I stayed the night at a hotel, and then the next day we got up. We had a 7 a.m. flight, and then we flew out, and then when we came back, same thing. We just came back, and we didn't have to stay in a hotel, but you know, took that
Jumped on
train,
that
or
train.
like I said, in a road trip. But yep, just anybody who's out there, just use your resources, use that Chat GPT, use Google. Look at the social media stuff, and look at the other people out here doing it. I mean, it can be done, whether it's a level 1, 2, or 3. It definitely can be done, and use all of your resources to your advantage.
Well, you know what? It has been so fun talking to you and so informative. Every time I come to your page, I'm like, look. Uh, Thank you so much for being our incredible guest today, Tiffany Brown, Dr. Tiffany Brown, and thanks for sharing your inspiring story and a wealth of practical advice and resources for our listeners. Today, we traveled the world for her and with her, learning how to turn challenges of autism into an adventure of a lifetime.
And your journey from that very first trip to exploring 47 states and 6 continents is a powerful testament to the idea that diagnosis doesn't limit anybody's dreams. We've gained so much insight into managing sensory issues, navigating airports, and finding joy in unexpected places.
And a final thought, and the next time you're traveling, remember that your kindness can make all the difference in the world. A family with a special needs child might be dealing with a lot. A simple smile, a moment of patience at a security checkpoint, or just do not pass judgment. That can make all the experience easier. Let's do our part to make the world a more inclusive place for every traveler.
For more helpful tips and to follow Dr. Brown's incredible adventures, you can find her at her website, drbrownadventures.com, and on Facebook and Instagram at Autism Spectrum Adventures. And we will put those links in the comment section of this episode.
Yes. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Passport to Joy, exploring the world one autistic adventure at a time. Until next time, keep exploring, keep adventuring, and remember,
count it all joy.
Count it all joy.
That's it right there.